Man, what a massive fireboat.
Yes, sir. They have got the equipment, that is for sure.
It is nice. Take a look at those nozzles.
I bet it'll flow some water. It's good to see, though, they got smooth bores on it.
I'm talking about the fog nozzles. The two big fog nozzles on the front.
You mean them yellow-headed death nozzles up there? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about real. What a real nozzle is.
Carnie, you've been in fire service a long time, and I know this is a huge debate, but I'd have thought you'd have been smarter than to think that them things are the way to go.
I can tell that me and you need to have a sit-down because you are not seeing the true light.
What planet are you from?
Talking to you sometimes is like talking to a table. In all seriousness, there's been much debate about fog nozzles and straight streams. Why do you think a smoothbore nozzle is the best thing for firefighting?
In reality, when you look at it, and when this all started, you know, trace the fog nozzle history back of where it came from, where it was developed. Really, the first fog nozzle can be traced back to the late 1800s. Right. You know, and they started using them for marine shipboard firefighting. There was a whole lot of testing done at Fort McHenry off Baltimore on the use of fog application for interior fires on marine vessels.
Is this where you're talking about layman's experiments that
right.
he used at the naval vessel?
Chief Lloyd Layman, he was one of the lead, you know, guys doing all this testing. So then he became the chief of Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Right.
And he brought that back, and around the 1947, between 1947 and 1950, he started introducing fog application in what he determined to be the indirect method of attack, which we all know, you know, we get it from all of our books. We got direct, indirect, and combination attack. So he is, I guess, charged with inventing the indirect attack method.
Right, and I know when he did his experiments back at his fire department in Pennsylvania, after that, they asked him to come and speak at one of the major fire conventions, in which he did, and that put fog nozzles, really, that's where the start of fog nozzles in the fire service came into play.
Correct. You know, he spoke at FDIC, and he came in and he started, he did his spill, and he wrote 2 books, one of them being Little Drops of Water, where he explained what fog nozzle application was. And in reality, when the indirect method of attack first started, it was promoted from an exterior fire attack. So
right.
What we would determine as a defensive operation. You know, he said that you'd go in, you'd take out the top portion of a window because you needed to go in high into the room involved, put the hose line in, turn the fog on, and stick that thing in about an arm's length and just leave it there for a few seconds, pull it out, shut it off, and the steam would do the work. And it works very, very well in that application. Then there were 2 guys out of Iowa State University that started studies. They took what Layman had done and they started doing some studies on it as well.
They came up with the Iowa State formula.
The Iowa State, right. Correct. And you know, and then those guys are, you know, they came up with the combination attack, where instead of going in and just leaving it in one place once you stuck it in that window, we're actually going to do it in a clockwise motion.
Right.
So they started turning the nozzle. That way they could put water on the walls and on the ceiling and on the floor, and they steamed it much better.
Yeah, it really wasn't about putting water on all walls and steaming the floor. It was trying to disperse the water droplets better.
Correct. All right. Well, then what happened?